Shade and shelter and farm revegetation is important obviously for agricultural reasons and biodiversity as well.
Incorporating areas of biodiversity on farms is easy to do by fencing out and revegetating areas that are of low productivity, of land degradation, fencing out isolated paddock trees, or by creating shade and shelter.
It yields better production for livestock and also cropping.
This was a working dairy farm before we took it over. This paddock in particular is 130 acres and it was crossed with drains and streams, etc. And the cattle had no internal fencing, so they were walking through everything.
So it's good to provide shade and shelter not only in summer but also in winter conditions as well.
So what I've done here is I've cleaned out the main streams. We've built a causeway so that cattle can cross at a laneway point, and we've then fenced off and re-vegged all of the stream that runs through the property.
We can plant along waterways to address erosion, and by fencing those areas we're reducing stock access. We can also plant areas of vegetation to address issues like dryland salinity.
3 reasons. First one, to stop the erosion. Secondly, to improve the biodiversity of the paddock. So we've planted trees and understory 10 metres either side of the stream. Third reason was to improve the productivity of the farm, in that I can now start to do more rotational cell grazing, and I can manage mobs in the one paddock rather than only being able to have one mob in a very large paddock. It's
amazing what Michael's done here on this property over the last 10 to 12 years, increasing shade and shelter for his livestock, but also the amazing amount of trees that he's put in and shrubs and native grasses.
We have planted around 2,000 to 3,000 trees over the last 12 years.
By creating corridors such as shade and shelter, we can improve connectivity for biodiversity by allowing the movement of animals along those areas to surrounding patches of bushland.
It's very important when undertaking farm revegetation, obviously to do some site preparation, and that includes weed control.
In designing an area of revegetation, you should consider the location in the landscape, the spacings between the plants, the overall structure, and the species composition.
If the trees are good enough, they will survive, they'll come through it. It looks pretty rubbishy for a while, but the plants are all in there and they're thriving, and over time they will dominate.
For the greatest benefit of biodiversity, the species selected should align to the local ecological vegetation classes or your local revegetation guide.
Well, it's great. You get up in the morning and you can hear loads more birds than when we came here.
So there's so many more benefits than that just meets the eye.
Bottom line as well, longer term, it's going to improve the value of your property. I've enjoyed considerable support through Landcare and NECMA over the years.
If you'd like more information on farm revegetation and shade and shelter, please contact Kiwi Catchment Landcare Network and Agriculture Victoria.